3,000. That's the number of Kenyans, or rather Kenyans and people living in Kenya, that have lost their lives to the coronavirus at last count. Therefore, my fellow countrymen, let us still remain vigilant. Social distance where you can, wear your mask where you can't, and keep your hands clean. Let's take a look at what's lined up in the next news hour. Tonight, ODM leader Raila Odinga finally breaks silence on BBI ruling, terming it disappointing.
For those of us who are not happy with the judgment of the High Court, the doors of the Court of Appeal are open.
BBI proponents deny that the train is driven by the president.
I can assure you, this is purely driven by Dennis Waweru and Junet Mohammed.
Also tonight, the nation is drowning.
Maji ya mto Nzoia na yale ya bahari yameingia katika shule yetu.
Communities have been urged to seek higher ground. Plus, NAT prepares for national elections amid claims of possible malpractice. Will Sosion survive?
Hiyo biashara wacha ndugu yangu. And we are telling you, your days are numbered.
And meet the warriors protecting the dignity of girls.
I'm encouraging all men, let us get involved in fighting FGM. Let us get involved in fighting gender-based violence.
To them, menstrual hygiene matters.
This is Weekend Edition with Olive Burrows.
Dennis Waweru, they're telling us that the BBI train is driven by himself and Junet Mohammed, and that comes just hours after the High Court, well, let's say a day or two after the High Court ruled that the BBI process is unconstitutional for one, among other reasons, that the president cannot drive it. What say you? The Twitter handles are at NTV Kenya. Mine is at O Burrows. Welcome to the broadcast. You're watching NTV Weekend Edition this Saturday. And with me is David Agondoa, who will be providing our sign language interpretation. The Building Bridges Initiative National Secretariat maintains it has assembled a strong legal team and it has a strong case to overturn the High Court ruling that declared the BBI Constitutional Amendment Initiative illegal. At the same time, the BBI bombshell has continued to elicit reactions from leaders across the country as others call for an audience with President Uhuru Kenyatta over the matter. While President Uhuru Kenyatta may be remaining mum, the ODM leader has responded and described the court ruling as disappointing.
The journey to salvage the BBI train has begun in earnest, with the BBI National Secretariat maintaining that they are legally set to jumpstart the BBI train once again at the Court of Appeal.
And we are going to
BBI National Secretariat co-chair Dennis Waweru insists that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not a promoter of the initiative as captured in the court ruling.
These bill's promoters, as you are aware, even from the documentation you have seen, is me and Junet Mohammed. So we were shocked to hear that they are trying to take away our baby and take it to another party. This is not a government project. This is a people-driven process. We have talked to a very strong legal team. We are going to have one of the strongest team you have ever seen in this country.
For the members of parliament, most of us here who support BBI are focused mentally to support that process to go through.
But leaders allied to Deputy President William Ruto see the BBI bombshell as an opportunity to revive the Jubilee administration's main agenda prior to the handshake.
Please, in the few remaining days that you have in office, focus on how to contain the corona pandemic and what is left of the big four. Hii mambo ya kwenda kuappeal BBI, it is the wrong thing.
We're in the midst of a pandemic, and you want to tell us that all we are interested in as a country is changing the constitution. Shame on you.
A section of leaders unhappy with the High Court ruling have been castigating the five-judge bench in a manner that others feel threatens the independence of the judiciary.
Don't be tempted to degenerate into calling for retributive action against our judges. If those judges have made a mistake, let's go to the Court of Appeal.
The current stall of the BBI train continues to be a critical political matter in President Uhuru Kenyatta's political backyard of Mount Kenya. A section of leaders from the region this weekend held a meeting in Nyeri to brainstorm on the way forward.
If it is not through the 254 members of the National Assembly who said yes to the BBI, then how else would you have a popular initiative that represents the people, and yet those people represent very, very critical mass back in their constituencies?
We are not worried about Tanga position. We are not worried about any individual position in Mount Kenya. We made a position in Sagana. We made a declaration in Sagana. We said we are supporting BBI in Sagana, and there will be no two positions.
Vincent Odur, NTV.
Whose baby is it? Is the BBI the baby of Junet Mohammed, as Dennis Awiri tells us himself, or President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga? I was under the impression that it's the latter, but what do I know? Perhaps it's a case of when truth is inconvenient or convenient. The Baringo County government has sent out an early warning to residents living near water bodies to move to higher ground as the Kenya Meteorological Department continues to forecast above normal rainfall. Floods in Busia County have also displaced thousands.
Rivers Molo and Parkera in Baringo County have already burst their banks, displacing residents.
Na tumeadhariwa na boma tatu hapa maji, na pia Muruda tuko karibu nao, na River Parkera ndio ilianza kusukuma River Molo. Sasa niyo mtoni ndio ilisababisha sana, na mashamba pia tumeadhariwa tena na maji.
More rainfall is expected this weekend, and residents of Ngambo, Salabani and Kiserian in Baringo South have been asked to move to higher ground to avert flood-related fatalities.
Nauliza paka Marikata, mahali flooding saa zingine husumbua watu sana. Watu ya Leboi, watu wa Aljamus community kule, Mkutani, Serian, wakae chonjo. Sisi ambao tunaishi nyanda za juu milimani kule, Jemorgong, huko yote Kiptagich, mpaka sehemu zile za North Baringo milima. Tukae tukijihadhari.
Baringo is already dealing with displacements from the rising lakes Baringo and Bugoria, and the floods are expected to heighten the humanitarian crisis in the county. In Budalangi, Busia County, the waters of River Nzoia and Lake Victoria have once again swelled, displacing residents in several villages in Bunyala South. Schools too have been affected and learning has been grounded.
Hatuna watoto wa kufunza. Watoto hawa wazazi wamesema hawawezi ingia kwa hii shule kwa sababu kuna maji, watoto watagonjeka, na badala ya kugonjeka watoto wakae nyumbani wapumzike.
Wanafunzi wa shule hii wanateseka, mpaka hivi sasa venye tunaongea wanateseka sana. Hawezi kutembea kuingia kwa shule pasipo kuingia ndani ya maji. Walimu pia vile vile wanateseka. Wengine wanatoka mbali, wanapokuja na barabara, pale kwa barabara hakuna gari, hakuna baiskeli wala pikipiki ambayo inaweza pita ndani. Ni boti tu ndio wanatumia.
The Kenya Meteorological Department forecasts more rainfall in the country, with government agencies asked to put in place early warning systems to prevent loss of lives due to flooding. Bridget's Ghana, NTV.
Do stay safe. It's proving a hard nut to crack. Rifts continue to emerge in the Kenya National Union of Teachers ahead of the June 20 national elections, and that is as some of the union leaders called for the removal of Secretary General Wilson Sossion on grounds that he is weakening the union. Gabriel Kudaka with the latest on the cracks in NUT.
A faction of NUT officials allied to the acting chair Colin Soyu took its campaign to Eldoret to strategize on how to clinch top leadership positions ahead of anticipated elections in June. The group seized the opportunity to unveil its lineup.
Secretary General will be one Brother Collins Oyu from Nyanza. The first Vice National Chair will be Stanley Mutai, who has been crowned today.
The acting chairman's faction, dubbed Team Change, accused Secretary General Wilson Sossion of killing the union through what they termed as high-handedness.
And we are telling you, your days are numbered. We shall push you out because the lineup is now complete.
I want to say that we are going to give a very strong team that is going to go nationally, campaign everywhere to ensure that we get good leaders who will be enabled to be good negotiators with the Teacher Service Commission.
But even as they plan to oust Sossion, allegations of electoral malpractices are already in the air with claims of a doctored register.
The Secretary General has already released a list of delegates that is not commensurate to the June 2019 register.
Na tungependa kumsihi the outgoing Secretary General of Kenya National Union of Teachers to ensure that he calls and creates a meeting for the National Executive Council to come up with a date and a venue for our national elections.
The anticipated election is geared towards filling 11 seats in the National Steering Committee and 44 others in the National Executive Council. Gabriel Kudaka, NTV.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union has today announced its new leaders elected during the union's national elections held on the 6th of May 2021. The polls were conducted electronically in compliance with the country's COVID-19 prevention regulations. Shortly after the names of the new KMPDU leaders were announced, some candidates opposed the results, but the leaders insisted that the election was conducted in accordance with their constitution. The new leaders, I unveil them to you now, are Dr. Abidan Mwachi, who is taking over as national chairman to succeed Dr. Samuel Oroko. In addition, Dr. Kahura Mundia is now the national deputy chairman, while Dr. Davji Bimji Atela has taken over the post of secretary general, and they're replacing Dr. Machonda Chibanzi. Dr. Miskela Mbega will be the new deputy secretary general, while Dr. Marcy Nabwire will becomes the treasurer, assisted by Dr. Anbar Ganatra as deputy treasurer. They will serve for 5 years.
I want to be Mugapes of this world, or the Musevens. KMPDU believes in handing over leadership, the new people, to continue with the objectives of the institution we call KMPDU.
I look forward to working collaboratively with our partners and stakeholders in and outside the healthcare system. That include the judiciary, the parliament, and all other institutions to ensure that the welfare of healthcare workers, the welfare of doctors is well maintained.
As normal in every election, there are few people who are not happy with it, with the outcome, and within our constitution and our union, we have mechanisms of addressing those grievances, and I'm sure that the grievances are ongoing right now. They are being listened to by the Independent Electoral Committee, and their views will be taken into consideration. Their complaints will be addressed properly.
Away from union matters to Matters United Democratic Alliance, which held a party primary in Muguga Ward, Kabete constituency. Residents were invited to select from a pool of 7 a candidate who will fly the party flag in the July 15th by-election. The Kiambu County Assembly seat was declared vacant following the demise of Eliud Ngugi. Jubilee is scheduled to conduct its party primary in the ward next Saturday, when it will also carry out a nomination exercise for the Kiamba constituency by-election. Saturday's UDA primary was peaceful, with no accusations of malpractice leveled.
Voters ni wengi sana na wataendelea kuchaguana hadi jioni, tuonyeshane ujasiri wetu na msimamo wetu hadi serikali ikapata kujua sisi msimamo wetu ni upi.
Naona chama cha UDA kimepanga mipango yake vizuri, na ndio maana kila kitu kina mtiririko hapa. Wako sawa kabisa.
So for us to see all these people coming in, and also the arrangement that they are in, it's very encouraging for a new political party.
5 families are in distress following the disappearance of their relatives a few days ago after they were picked up by police. 5 young men who go by the names Mohammed Aidan Isaac, Abdirashid Daoud, Abdulaziz Mohammed, Hussein Hilo and Ali Said were allegedly arrested on Thursday while participating in the Free Palestine protests at Uhuru Park. According to their families, the 5 young men, aged between 20 and 23 years of age, were taken to Kilimani police station and later to the anti-terrorism police unit.
We are told by the family they were not participating in the demonstration. They were walking. Then they were arrested, taken to Kilimani police station. Then from
Kilimani police station, they were taken to the ATPU police station. So today we went to Kilimani just to verify what the family were telling us. Apparently they were not booked in the OB, their names were not there. We were referred to the ATPU. Unfortunately, we were not able or we were not allowed to see them. So we don't know what's happening.
Watoto wetu ni student, hata nikiwaonesha. Huyu ni mtoto anafaa kuregister on Monday, KCSE. Wanasema wamechukuliwa wakapelekwa hapo, wamewekewa hiyo kitu ya kusema engage in terror. Sisi watoto wetu si terrorism. Mimi ningetaka Nurdin Haji, Bwana Matiangi, wajaribu kuingililia hii maneno.
Si ufika pale anti-terror, wanatupea chance ya kuongea nao. After staying for most 3 to 4 hours, unapewa chance ya kuongea only 2 minutes. And that's it. Ukiuliza how is the investigation going, they're telling you, tunangangana tu. The question that I want to ask, kwa nini walivalishwa tags za anti-terror after walishikwa in the demonstration? That's the question we want to know. Na ni watoto wa shule. Kama walishikwa na demonstration, they wanafaa wachajue with that act of demonstration. Na constitution ya Kenya inakubali watu kudemonstrate.
President Uhuru Kenyatta was among several African leaders at the inauguration of Djibouti President Ismail Omar Guelleh in the country's capital city, Djibouti. President Kenyatta, who is the current chair of the East African Community, was accompanied by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Rachel Omamo. 73-year-old President Guelleh garnered 97% of the vote in last month's election to secure a 5th term in office, 97%. In his inauguration address, President Guelleh called on African nations to unite and embrace integration to achieve the continent's development aspirations. He reiterated Djibouti's commitment to the various continental multilateral initiatives aimed at building a resilient African economy, among them the African Continental Free Trade Area. Kenya and Djibouti enjoy strong diplomatic relations that date back to 1977, when the Horn of Africa nation gained independence from France. I mentioned that we are past the 3,000 mark where COVID fatalities in Kenya are concerned. It's actually 3,001. And Meru County this Saturday came second to Nairobi in the highest number of new COVID infections, with 42 cases compared to the capital's 67. In total, the Ministry of Health has reported 267 new cases nationally out of 4,436 samples tested. This brings the country's infections tally up to 165,379. The number of patients admitted to hospital, according to the Ministry of Health statistics, is 1,030, with 117 in ICU. Another 4,436 patients are recuperating at home. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we have that 3,000 COVID fatality total, and that is after we add 25 lives to the count, with 8 deaths having occurred in the last month, while 17 are late death reports. On a more positive note, we have 57 recoveries, and which have been reported in the last day, and a total of 933,826 persons who've now received their first dose of the AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine. What do morans have to do with sanitary towels? Find out on the other side of this break.
Mama yao, angalia mikono yangu imeparara.
Ala, aibu gani mwenzangu? Kwani umekuwa ukitumia sabuni gani ya unga? Unahitaji sabuni na laini kwa mikono. Unaona Ariel mpya inayeyuka haraka na ni laini kwa mikono yako, huku ikiondoa madoa sugu.
Na mikono yangu ni laini na safi.
The Policyholders Compensation Fund, PCF, would like to notify Concord Insurance Company Limited policyholders and beneficiaries that the payment period to lodge their claims has been extended for an additional 30 days. The new deadline is now 14th May 2021. All claimants of Concord Insurance Company Limited are required to download the claims form from PCF website www.pcf.go.ke, IRA website www.ira.go.ke, or pick the form from PCF offices, 2nd floor, ZEP Replace, Longonot Road. Fill the form in duplicate and attach copies of the required documents. Submit to PCF for verification, approval and processing of payment. All payments will be made in line with the fund's guidelines and procedures. PCF, the fund you can trust.
Wow, thank you for your time.
And do you have any question for us?
How juicy.
Juicy.
Juicy. Niko fiti maze niko fiti majamana mabenti wako fiti. Juicy fruit, juicy fruit, juicy fruit, juicy fruit.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So...
You can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
Talk about a condition that most people associate with older persons, but it can strike at any time.
Rheumatoid arthritis is a disease of pain.
Because of the pain, I didn't want to stretch them. At one point, I had squint eyes. I had hip replacement.
It can affect your nerves, come with numbness, can go to your eyes, can cause them blindness.
I feel smaller. I feel inadequate compared to my peers.
Don't let rheumatoid arthritis define you, because that would be the end.
To our brand new Get It community project, Happy Gardens in Kitengela. Pay 800K on any of our projects and get 20K cashback PAP. Call us now on 0790 300 300.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV Weekend Edition. Now, why are there so few girls completing school in Narok County? I don't know. This is a question that has bothered county education experts, and part of the problem has been found to be the lack of menstrual hygiene facilities and reproductive health information. As a result, many of these girls are getting married younger than they should, or falling pregnant and dropping out of school. Now, a group of young men is seeking to change the fate of these girls and are pushing for the accessibility of sanitary towels. Bridget Ngana reports on how these morons are rewriting tradition, diving into menstrual hygiene matters.
The Green Hills tower above the Orbo Mamanyata. Here in the Masai Mara, life is pristine, untouched by modernity, as Edna Ngoe leads me to their Manyata. Inside, she quickly lights the fire and begins to prepare tea. She is 19 and is the first of her 6 siblings to join university. She credits her success to her mother ensuring she had sanitary towels every time she is on her menses. However, not every girl is lucky like her, and many are said to have dropped out of school due to lack of pads.
Wakati ingine hakuna pesa, sasa mtu unapata hakuna mahali utatoa pads, unatafuta rafiki kijana na kubaia pads, alafu ndio sasa usurvive. Unapata wengine wanatoka shule kabla hawajamaliza.
You've told me about leaders that you know who are women and you want to be like them.
Leshan Kereto is a Moran and a student at Egerton University. He has been vocal in campaigning against FGM and early marriages in his community here. And his visit alongside other young Maasai men targeted more than 200 girls to talk about menstrual hygiene and sexual reproductive health, topics considered taboo for men here.
I come from a community that is, the men are a bit far from the women and the girls. I think we are in a century where we need to take care of our own. I think it's about time that everyone takes initiative to make sure that all our sisters and girls and girlfriends and mothers, as well as everyone else who is female and is facing all these problems, is well taken care of. As much as I am a gentleman and I come from this culture, I think it's also my responsibility. So I want to see them doing well. I want to see them being happy. I don't want them to undergo the problems that come with FGM.
Government officials saying the pandemic has only served to aggravate an already dire situation.
We are fighting on FGM. We are fighting, that is early marriage, especially hii nyakati ya corona. Kabla hizi sipatikane, unapata vitu mingi zinatumika, especially on the period time. The old clothes, blanketi zinakatwa, mattresses zinakatwa, na wale hawana mattresses like the community wanatumia some of the branches kama ile leshwa kama unajua. So unapata imekuwa ni jambo ambayo imekataza watoto kwenda shule.
For Leshan and his team, they believe it is time for men in the Maa community to be at the heart of empowering their women.
Ilikuwa msichana akishakuwa mkubwa ni kuolewa. Kuna mambo ya period, msasi labda ungetaka kusikia mambo ya msichana yako, lakini sasa tunawaeleza as a parent mwanaume ya kwamba ni vitu utakuwa unajua. You have to speak mambo ya pads kwa watoto yako. Unaponunulia nguo zingine ya uniform, vitabu, lazima pia uchukue nafasi hiyo ukimnunulia hizo vitu ambazo zinahitajika na msichana ndio aendelee na masomo yake.
Nawaambianga wasitoke shule, kuolewa mapema isaidi. Napata mtu mwingine anaolewa akiwa na 15 years. So kitambata mtu fikishe 20 years, utakuwa umezeeka au umeteseka. Although wengi wamedrop shule, lakini saizi at least umepata mawaidha. So wengi wetu wanamaliza shule sai.
I'm encouraging all men, let us get involved in fighting FGM. Let us get involved in fighting gender-based violence, because we can. Of these elders, their daughters are getting pregnant. Their daughters can't afford sanitary pads. So it's better for them to support me, do the work, rather than them fighting me, because they've faced the problems that come with all this. They've seen the repercussions.
Leshan is one of the young Maasai men or Morans here in Sekenan in the Maasai Mara who are going against the grain, especially along centuries-old traditional beliefs, especially towards in relations to the women folk in the community. And it starts here with these young girls. He believes that these dreams should not go wasted, and so he is at the forefront trying to ensure that they have the right information in terms of sexual reproductive health, menstrual hygiene, and also campaigning against FGM. He believes that all of them have bright futures ahead of them. Bridget Ngana, NTV, Narok County.
I wonder, as a man, would you be willing and are you comfortable buying a sanitary towel or more popularly known pads for your significant other or for your daughters? Do let us know whether you are or you're not on at NTV Kenya and at Obarrows on Twitter, because I hear these things are part of the reason that men dare not enter a woman's handbag. We take a break. We'll be back with more on the other side of NTV Weekend Edition.
Whoever you choose as a partner along the way, no matter how, listen to your heart. Whose decisions are more important than yours? Never alone on this journey of yours. With you, each step of the way. All the way. Pay as you learn. Pay as you dine. Pay as you see the world. Pay your own way. The way ahead. Union Pay. Your way.
Kijani Ridge is Tatu City's premier neighborhood, offering a 1.5 acre fully serviced plot in a controlled development. The plots overlook a beautiful dam with natural green spaces. Kijani Ridge is a walking distance from Rover Pioneer and Crawford International Schools. Families are already moved in and more homes are under construction. Contact us for daily site visits and own your dream home with us.
Today tastes like a Sunday barbecue.
never tasted this good.
Ah, Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
You do your best out there. Let us do our best in here with the disinfecting power of Jik. Because Jik cleans and kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs in your home. Jik, your family's guardian against germs.
In a world of fake news, Kenyans need the truth. When Kenya's foreign debt goes through the roof. When our athletes cover our nation with glory on the global stage. When they steal from Kenyans in a pandemic. When Kenyans cannot breathe due to the high cost of living. You deserve the truth. The Daily Nation brings you the truth. We are bold for you, full of courage for you. We are resilient for you, telling Kenya's stories without fear or favor, because you deserve the truth. Daily Nation, the truth.
I wonder, what do you do with your bottles once you're done with them? There's a certain segment of society that throws them out of vehicle windows, and for the love of nature, please stop doing that. Well, there is a gentleman where is he? In Meru, who uses discarded bottles as construction material. Take a look. Oh, well, I'm told that is in a little bit. We'll take a look in a bit. But first, the coronavirus has shattered the global tourist economy, and Kenya is caught up in that carnage in Baringo County. Several multi-billion tourist hotels, lodges and tented camps are among business establishments that have been hit hard by the swelling Lake Baringo waters. Communities living along Lake Baringo rely on tourism, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the rising of the lake, locals have lost their jobs and their income has been cut off. As NTV's Rose Wangoi reports, local tour guides have now turned to fishing to make ends meet.
Lake Baringo is one of the two freshwater lakes in the Great Rift that host rare magical gems right within it. It is here that 7 magnificent lush green islands store, spewing unsullied splendor. The beauty of Baringo and her surrounds is legendary spectacular sunsets and a dazzling array of colorful bird life. However, the rising waters of Lake Baringo have dealt a heavy blow to tourism, a key sector in this part of Kenya.
Rising levels was quite gradual. You could see it coming every day, a meter, half a meter or two, somewhere there. And after 6-7 months, it got to where it is now.
It is early morning and we have hired the services of Fox Odor, a tour guide. His trade thrives on taking holidaymakers and tourists around Lake Baringo. But since the arrival of the coronavirus, things have taken a turn for the worst.
We operate the vessels here offering tourists some services like boat riding, bird watching, nature walks, village visits. This is all what we do to survive. And I work for an organization that's a self-help project representing the youths from this region. About 60 of us work together.
He now ferries stranded locals from one end of the lake to another, and occasionally visitors like us. Lined up within the shores of Lake Baringo are hotels that have incurred huge losses, but some are struggling to remain afloat while putting in mitigation measures. Several multi-billion tourist hotels, lodges and tented camps are among business establishments that have been hit hard. The businesses that were already reeling under the weight of the COVID-19 pandemic have now been submerged, triggering economic losses worth millions of shillings.
But since we've lost all these facilities, so very few people are coming in and they're only doing day packages, day trips to Baringo. That gives them a very limited amount of time to explore what we offer. We have COVID pandemic with us. It's a worldwide pandemic, so we have a double-pronged kind of dilemma. Thinking now we can survive with the number of tourists dwindling, also being compounded by people not traveling, because every day you see stay at home, work from home, so people are not traveling. And that means we are really out of business. All the boats you see right here, maybe one has gone for the whole day, and maybe in the whole week it might be the only business.
We weave through the trees and shrubs that were once Robert's Camp Lush Gardens. All around me used to be dry land on which a community once thrived. Much of that has been submerged.
Well, the camp is about probably more than 40 years. Robert's Camp was a tourist facility that really added the livelihood of this region. They had some bandas, some cottages where people could come and stay. And also you could bring your tents, camp right there, or maybe if you don't have your own tents, you could hire some tents from them. Camp right by the shores of the lake. I feel being between a rock and a hard place because this is my job. I work in the tourism industry. COVID is there, nobody's traveling, the facilities are destroyed. We could depend on the domestic tourism, which also gives us a big chunk of survival. The only tourists we're getting now is only, we can say, reporters coming to see what's going on, maybe some NGOs coming to see what they can assist.
The surging waters of Lake Baringo have also affected Tumbili Cliff Lodge on the shores of the lake. The road that led to Tumbili Cliff Lodge was cut off by floods and cannot be used. For now, tourists have to use a boat to get to the hotel.
But one thing good, the hotel was not affected, by the way. No rooms in the water. All rooms are safe.
The hotel, which has been in operation since 2013, relied on international tourists. But in 2020, due to COVID-19, the numbers reduced drastically.
COVID has already bring a very big problem. From between April to July, we had never received any clients from outside or within Kenya. Yeah, really it was so bad, so bad. Some of our staffs have been told to stay at home, but they're still working by shift.
Business at the resort is currently being boosted by domestic tourists.
In November, December, we're receiving clients from Kenya.
How many clients do you have, maybe roughly?
We have 15, 16, sometimes we have 20. September, it comes to pick up. So we are receiving clients from some, we have received some from France, and we are some in Kenya. Naogopa labda tu ikinyesha zaidi na utakuwa affected. So we are still worried.
One of the most affected tourism destinations is the multi-billion shilling island camp. The small, exclusive and remote lodge in Kokwa Island was built on a hill, offering an ideal escape. Access to island camp is only granted by boat. There used to be 28 ensuite tents made up of twins, doubles and triples. The tents were perched on rocky outcrops or under trees, most with a view over the lake. But 26 cottages were completely submerged by the rising waters of Lake Baringo. Island Camp Baringo is one of the oldest tourist resorts within Lake Baringo. Currently, I'm standing at what used to be a cottage, but now it's completely destroyed. The remaining rooms are secure and far from floods. The lodge has lost revenues amounting to millions of shillings. Kenya's tourism industry contributes 10% of economic output and employs over 2 million people.
Some of our parents used to work in the hotels there, so they now have to depend on us. Some of us had to change our tack, go into fishing just to survive. If we all go in there, then we are going to plunder all the fish, and then nothing is going to be of Kambe Samaki, hence the name. You know, it's a fishing village.
Hizi mahoteli zimeisha. County waongee na jamii, community as a whole, wapanue hii mji kuwe kubwa, wapeane nafasi kwa mahoteli. Kisha mahoteli mpya zijengwe, ma-investors waje, watujengee mahoteli kubwa kubwa hapa. Pia hiyo area ya kurudisha hiyo employment irudi kwa wananchi wa hapa.
Before the pandemic, Kenya was expecting a modest pump in tourism revenue. Instead, the tourism sector lost close to 1 billion shillings in revenue between January and October of last year, when the number of foreign visitors plunged by 2/3 due to COVID-19, official data shows. Many locals fear what will become of their community if the sector does not pick back up soon.
Yeah, we just have that uncertainty. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You are here today, maybe tomorrow the lake will be on the other side. You have a small plot right by the shoreline. It's going to be taken away. That's all your investment. So you never know. Well, disappointed, of course, demoralized, but I don't count myself unfortunate because I'm still alive and I know time and chance happens to all. I only count how many times I pick myself up, not how many times I've lost something.
But with the uncertainty of the coronavirus situation globally, some are choosing to hold on until things go back to business as usual. Ruzongoi, NTV, Baringo.
Fox Odor providing some inspiration despite the uncertainties that Lake Baringo presents. Now, speaking of water, let me introduce you to a gentleman who uses discarded bottles as construction material.
NTV met Sami Weru here at Timau dump site. It's an eyesore. But as they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, because for Sami, this dump site harbors little treasures that he cleans and uses to decorate houses. So how did it all start? Well, for Sami, it started when he was young.
Katika shule yetu nilikuanga mwanafunzi wa mazingira prefect. Dad hakuwa na pesa za kunipeleka pale popote. So ikanibidi nianze hustling yangu. Nikapata dadangu Samburu anafanya biashara kidogo ya kuuza chips. Na penye alikuwa napikia, alikuwa amezingira tu na gunia. Then nikazunguka hiyo mahali nikapata kuna chupa mingi sana ziko huko zimetupwa. Kwa sababu niko na ile passion ya environment, nikafikiria venye naweza chukua hizo bottles, nione kama naweza jenga nazo ka kitchen kidogo nikitumia matope.
And that's how Sami's business was born. Moving back to Timau, he started collecting both plastic and beer bottles to decorate house walls and floors. But it took a lot of convincing his father to support the initiative.
Kamwambia ploti yangu ni kidogo sana, ni ya 20 by 8, utajenga wapi? Kaniambia nisijali, atajenga juu, atajenga chini, lakini aipandishe juu. Mimi nikamkubalia, kaanza kuokota chupa.
Sami is now calling on other young people to tap into their talents and use them for good.
Kimaliza shule, try to kuingilia talent yako. Kama uko na talent ya kufanya kitu fulani, jaribu kuanza nao kugrow that talent, uitumie kupata pesa.
Kiambia wazazi wasaidie watoto wenye wako na talent, na hata wale ambao hawana talent. Hakuna mtoto ambaye hana talent yake ili amepewa na Mungu. Tuwasaidie.
Anita Nkonge, NTV.
We take a break, but when we come back, Ida Mumeta brings us up to speed on what people have been buzzing about online.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. It's reinvented formula with flaxseed oil. Boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex.
Protex. Good health starts here.
90 million in 90 days. 250,000 for 2 winners daily. 2 million every week. 5 million every month. And a grand prize of 10 million bob. Play Omoka Raisi today with your 90 bob on the pay bill number 404444. Account Omoka.
Hot 10T is the latest Infinix smartphone with super fast and smooth display with 90 GHz refresh rate, 48 megapixel clearest camera with a nightscape image performance for good photos, even at night. Enjoy smooth and fast gaming experience supported by Helio G70 on Hot 10T. Stay on power with Hot 10T, 5000 mAh super large batteries. Buy Hot 10T now in all Infinix outlets countrywide. You'll get exclusive gifts, 2.5 GB Safaricom data for free, and also have a chance to win Infinix Smart TV.
Asante kwa kupigia Tononoka Group. Jina langu ni Chuma. Nawezaje kukusaidia leo?
Halo, ni aje Chuma. Mimi naitwa Jamal na kupigia kutoka Malo Fabricators. Nimesikia kuhusu mpango wenye wa Tajirika na Chuma na ningetaka information zaidi kuhusu mpango.
Tajirika na Chuma ni mpango wa zawadi wa kiwango cha juu zaidi unaopatikana tu Tononoka Group. Unapata pointi kila wakati unaponunua bidhaa zenye thamani ya $100,000 na zaidi. Alama hizi zinaweza kukombolewa katika ununuzi unaofuata ama ukakusanya kwa matumizi ya baadaye.
Process ya kujoin ni gani?
Nenda kwenye website yetu tononoka.com na ujisajili.
Sawa. Haya. Safi kabisa. Haya, andika order sasa to proceed on.
Order yako imechukuliwa, utapata SMS kwenye simu yako kuhusu idadi ya pointi ulizotunukiwa kutokana na ununuzi huu. Sheria na masharti kutumika. Tajirika na Chuma.
Tononoka Group, at the core of every construction.
We talk about a condition that most people associate with older persons, but it can strike at any time.
Rheumatoid arthritis is a disease of pain.
Because of the pain, I didn't want to stretch them. At one point, I had squint eyes. I had hip replacement.
It can affect your nerves, it come with numbness, it can go to your eyes, it can cause them blindness.
I feel smaller, I feel inadequate compared to my peers.
Don't let rheumatoid arthritis define you, because that would be the end.
To our brand new Get It community project, Happy Gardens in Kitengela. Pay 800K on any of our projects and get 20K cashback PAP. Call us now on 0790 300 300.
This Thursday, Kenya came to a standstill following the 5-judge bench verdicts on the Building Bridges initiative. The internet, on the other hand, though, came alive. Our online reporter, Ida Mumeta, has more from the interwebs.
What is BBY, by the way?
She asks a valid question, but while some were still trying to put two and two together, the court said,
"No one is going to tell me what to do at what time. I'm in charge."
And while in charge, the BBI train ground to a halt and the reggae came to a rude stop. In case you missed the hearing, allow me to paint the picture for you.
Man, come in this place, man, for chant reggae music because me cry for the people. Scratch that. Me cry for myself and my body, and nobody can stop reggae. We come in this time with reggae music, man. It's all about some reggae music. And I release me tell you. Kwa nini mnigonga na koti? Kwa nini nagonga msanii wa reggae na koti?
Which reminds me, Deputy President William Ruto once said,
"Ambiwa ati nobody can stop reggae." Really? Na hii reggae itakwama.
And the president at one time also said,
"Nataka niseme mchana kwa mchana, hakuna serikali ya nusu mkate."
Well, as things stand, it may be safe to say, in a nutshell, when the brothers said nobody can stop reggae, the judiciary, in the words of one Sam Mkenya, said, "The Bluetooth device is disconnected successfully. That's why hakuna reggae. Oh, but this one was connected and ready to make with it and tweet it as well." Mohammed Ali, aka Mohaji Chopevu, said, reggae music must be roots and culture and not rumba. The Revisited have revised the revisit. This victory is for the people. God bless the judiciary for protecting the constitution. These sentiments were, however, not shared by all. One David Mainandongo said, this has to be the weakest bench ever constituted to determine a constitutional matter. At _Omondi 254 said, indeed, another day when the judiciary has been able to portray ignorance and impunity as they squash the dreams of the Kenyan people. The BBI Secretariat, co-chaired by Jeanette Mohammed, has vowed to appeal the verdict. Well, let us see if Kenya will get back to its roots, reggae, redeem, or get rid of it altogether. I last say I keep it here to see Wagwan with BBI online. Ida Mumeta, NTV.
So, DJ Mo Spice,
yes,
the courts may have stopped the BBI reggae, but have they stopped the NTV reggae?
Jam Down Reggae continues.
That's right. Right, so after we get onto more serious matters, but Jam Down after that. Yes. So the courts may have stopped the BBI reggae, but
Jam Down
is still on tonight. Well, on to serious matters now. And the Jala Tower in the Gaza Strip, a 13-floor building housing Qatar-based Al Jazeera television and American news agency, the Associated Press, in the Gaza Strip, has been hit by Israeli airstrikes. It's said that the army had warned the tower's owner ahead of the strike, despite intensifying diplomatic efforts to ease the 5 days of fighting between Israel and Palestinian militants in Gaza. Israel's Air Force continues to strike.
Black smoke billows after Israeli strikes hit targets in Gaza City amid heightened tensions between Israel and Palestinians. Saturday, the Israeli army hit the Jala Tower in the Gaza Strip, a 13-floor building housing Qatar-based Al Jazeera television and American news agency, the Associated Press, in the Gaza Strip. According to Jawad Mehdi, the owner of the Jala Tower, an Israeli intelligence officer warned him he had just 1 hour to ensure the evacuation of the building. Israel alleged its fighter jets attacked a high-rise building which hosted military assets belonging to the military intelligence of the Hamas terror organization. Health officials in the coastal enclave says Israeli air and artillery strikes on Gaza since Monday have killed 139 people, including 39 children, and wounded 1,000 more. Within Israel, an unprecedented wave of mob violence has seen Arabs and Jews savagely beat each other, with both synagogues and mosques set alight. More than 750 people have been arrested this week. Its bombardment of Gaza began Monday in response to rocket fire towards Jerusalem from Hamas and other Palestinian armed groups in the enclave.
Shocking to see that tower come down. Sports news after this break.
Thank you to the bosses who changed the office entirely in order to create the most comfortable workspace. And to everyone who brings Bureau Time to them in over 50 countries. Bureau Time. Asset for success.
As we reopen to this new normal, we are committed to excellence. We have adhered to the Ministry of Health COVID-19 guidelines, keeping our students and the learning environment safe. We're back. We're safe. We're learning. We admit both self and government-sponsored students for our degree, diploma and certificate programs that are accredited by the Commission for University Education. ZTech University. Invent your future.
What
do you think about Molfix?
Actually, another brand was recommended to me, but it had a leakage problem. Then I decided to try Molfix. His clothes don't get wet anymore.
Because Molfix provides extra protection against leakage thanks to its anti-leakage elastic barriers. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Weka Collabo na Shell, Shinda Fuso FI is back and bigger. Weka Collabo na Shell Fuels plus Shell Lubricants, Africa's Oshopata convenience shop. To enter the draw, dial *384*200#, enter the code from your voucher and follow the prompts. Terms and conditions apply.
Tajirika na chuma. Whether it's TMT bars, hollow sections, angle lines, or any other steel, we've got you covered. Earn chuma points every time you purchase steel at any of our factories. Redeem them at your next purchase. Earn 1 point for every 100 shillings spent. Visit tononoka.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Tajirika na chuma. Tajirika na Tononoka. Chuma si chuma, chuma ni Tononoka.
In a world of fake news, Kenyans need the truth. When Kenya's foreign debt goes through the roof. When our athletes cover our nation with glory on the global stage. When they steal from Kenyans in a pandemic. When Kenyans cannot breathe due to the high cost of living. You deserve the truth. The Daily Nation brings you the truth. We are bold for you, full of courage for you. We are resilient for you. Telling Kenya's stories without fear or favor, because you deserve the truth. Daily Nation, the truth.
We talk about a condition that most people associate with older persons, but it can strike at any time.
Rheumatoid arthritis is a disease of pain.
Because of the pain, I didn't want to stretch them. At one point, I had squint eyes. I had hip replacement.
It can affect your nerves, it come with numbness, it can go to your eyes, it can cause them blindness.
I feel smaller, I feel inadequate compared to my peers.
Don't let rheumatoid arthritis define you, because that would be the end.
To our brand new Get It community project, Happy Gardens in Kitengela. Pay 800k on any of our projects and get 20k cashback PAP. Call us now on 0790 300 300.
Premier League leaders Tusker battles KCB to a barren draw in a tough Football Kenya Federation Premier League match held at Raraka grounds. The draw sees 11-time winners Tusker increase their points tally at the summit of the 17-team league on 34 points, while KCB remained third on 30 points. The Bankers have a match in hand. Meanwhile, Caleb Olilo scored his first goal in the league as FC Leopards held their nerve to edge out Nzoia Sugar 1-0 at the same venue. Athletics Kenya technical team toured the Kipchoge Keino Stadium in Eldoret Uasin Gishu in a bid to assess if the facility is fit to hold Olympic Games trials. Led by the AK President Jackson Tuwei, the officials spent more than 2 hours assessing the facility. The team was specifically interested in assessing the track and field for the field events such as shot put, and they also accessed the changing rooms and warm-up areas. The team also looked at other technical areas that could affect the outcome of the various events. The national women's volleyball team, Malkia Strikers, is in the coastal city of Mombasa as part of their preparations for the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games scheduled to take place in July. The coastal trip has been facilitated by the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, and the trip comes 2 weeks after the team's 45-day high-intensity training in Brazil was halted by the government amid rising cases of COVID-19. Luka Doncic's 11th triple-double of the season propelled the Dallas Mavericks to a